talk show. I'm Trev. It's too sweet. Let's continue on with my favorite player from every team of all time. And as the title suggests, we're talking about the Coyotes. Now, I know what you're thinking. You have favorite Coyotes? Like players you'd actually say were your favorite from that team? Absolutely, I do. I have favorite players from every team, even the teams I don't like. But, having said all that, let's talk about who I put on my list as my favorite Coyotes of all time. Let's check it out. It's a brief history lesson, if we don't already know. The Coyotes have been in a team since 1996, after relocating from Winnipeg, as from the original version of the Winnipeg Jets, to become the Phoenix Coyotes. And that lasted until 2014, when they rebranded themselves as the Arizona Coyotes. Since 1996, they've had very minimal playoff success, so you can already guess they've won 0 cups. The closest they've come to getting to the Stanley Cup Finals was 2012, when they lost to the eventual Stanley Cup champs, the LA Kings, in the conference finals. But like I do with every team, I'm going to pick 1 goalie, 2 defensemen, and 3 forwards. Now, I don't care if they're left wing or right wing. If they're forward, I'm counting them. So, here's my favorite Arizona Coyotes of all time. Oh, and in the spirit of continuity, no original Winnipeg Jets will be on this list. This is the Coyotes, not the Jets. So starting in net with Nikolai Khabibulin. Yeah, he was only there 3 years, but he kept them in the playoffs for 3 years. He was their main man for 3 years, starting in over 70 games for at least 2 of those seasons. And yeah, he had better success elsewhere, but for 3 years, it was probably the best thing the Coyotes had going for them. So there's that. Starting defense with Oliver Ekman-Larsson. Yeah, not a bad contract notwithstanding. For 11 years, he was the man on defense. He was always in consideration, or at least in discussion, as one of the best defensemen of the league in his prime. But he's like another guy on this list. You just can't picture the team without him until he's gone. And yeah, no, he was, like I said, one of the best things that they had on defense at the time. Even though the stats don't always show it, and even though the success is limited, he kept them in when he had to. Continuing with Teppo Numminen. Well, for one, he wore the number 27. That'll always get you points in my book. For 2, he was a captain near the end, so that helps him too. But with him on the team, the Coyotes only missed the playoffs twice, back when they were making the playoffs. Just a solid defenseman. Very solid. I mean, it was, on a good day, it was hard to get anything by him. On a bad day, it wasn't nearly as much of a chore, but it was still a bit difficult. Just a sandpaper defenseman. I liked him. Starting forwards with Keith Tkachuk. Now, if Numminen was sandpaper, Tkachuk was an extra layer of sandpaper. And yeah, he was only there for 5 years, but come on. First 50 goal scorer for the Coyotes. I'm not counting Jets history here, I'm counting the Coyotes only. First 50 goal scorer for the Coyotes. And the fact that his goal potential never really slipped. He was always 30s, 40s, or 50s. Again, like Khabibulin, one of the best things in the beginning years, because we all know how difficult it is to sell hockey in the desert. Jeremy Roenick, so nice, he played there twice. And if you gotta have Tkachuk on this list, you have to have Roenick, because Roenick was Tkachuk's wingman. And I mean, he was always good for at least 60 points, if not more. Except for in that last year where, age was catching up to him. But overall, fun player to watch. Whether you agreed with the way he played or the way he presented himself or not, it didn't matter. Roenick was entertainment, if for nothing else. And again, another one of those guys in the beginning years kept them relevant and kept them in the playoffs. So you can't say no to success. And of course, this list would be incomplete if it didn't have the lifer himself. The only guy on this list, legit, to have his number retired anywhere, never mind just Phoenix, anywhere. This guy was the Coyotes, and I mean, to a degree, he still is, but again, like OEL, just hard to picture him not on the team until he's not on the team. Like, when you thought Coyotes, from the beginning to when he retired, you always thought Doan. Doan was always one of the first 2 or 3 names that came up to your mind. And yeah, if he had more spring in his step to actually be a 1,000 point guy for his career in Arizona, that would have been a compliment in itself. Whether it was him playing on the team, him playing internationally, he was always just the kind of player you wanted to see on a team like Arizona, for better or for worse. And fun to watch too, when he had spring in his step. But that is my list of favorite Arizona Coyotes of all time. It's Trevs Hockey Show. I want to thank you for tuning in. Don't think I don't appreciate the gesture, especially if you've made it to this point. It's a great thing for me. It's a better thing for you. So you can't go wrong on that. But if you've made it this far, hit that thumbs up. Let me know you're here. That big red button, you know what to do. You know how it makes you feel. So let's do it up. Socials, they're in the description down below. So moving forward, as far as favorite players from whichever team, I'll let you know when we're there. But either way, in the meantime, in between time, be looking for more reviews from Trev. Later.